I'm sitting right next to
What is this? Is that a lion? What is this? You want to hold a lion? What is this? Tiger? It's not really a lion, but they kind of look alike. He just has stripes on him. Do you like to see the lions and the tigers at the zoo? Can you walk up and pet them like this? I've only pet one, and it was a little baby. But aren't they usually behind bars? So you can only look at them, but you can't touch them, right? Do you know why they're behind bars? You don't? Huh? They're behind bars because they can be very mean. And they're not safe to be around. So we have to put them behind bars, right? Well, I'm going to tell you or read you a story about lions in the Bible. Now, the lions that you're holding, they belong to one of my boys. Do you know who Shannon is? Well, he comes once in a while. He's 24 years old, so when he was a little boy, those were his. And we just kept them. And this storybook I'm going to read out of, this was his as well. And this is about Alice. Alice was a little girl, and in her mind, she would walk through a magic screen. And you know what she says? Reading is the magic key to take you where you want to be. And that is so true, because when you read, you think about what you're reading and where you're going to be at. So today we're going to follow Alice, and we're going to go to Babylon. Now, Babylon was a big city way back a few thousand years ago in Bible times. And there was a man there, and his name was Daniel. Now, Daniel, have you heard the story of Daniel? You like it, don't you? Well, Daniel, he was captured. You know what it means to be captured? Well, when he was, probably a teenager, like Micah's age or Jeremy Barrett, one of those teenagers. He was probably about that old. And he was taken from his mommy and daddy, and he was taken to a strange land. Well, that wouldn't be too much fun, would it? But he had a lot of faith in God, and so he believed in God, and he lived for God, and he trusted in God, even though he was in a strange land called Babylon. What did Daniel do every day? He prayed, and how many times a day did he pray in front of people? 3 times a day he prayed at his window. Now, how many times should we be praying a day? I pray more than that. I pray in the morning when I get up, then I pray for breakfast, and I pray at my lunch, and I pray at my dinner, and I pray when I go to bed. That's 5 times. And a lot of times I pray all day long, just in my mind, thanking God or asking him for help, because it says we should always be thinking of God and in prayer. But Daniel prayed so people could see him and know that he loved God. Well, there were and Daniel, he wasn't just any Joe Smo down the street. He was so wise and so intelligent and so good. He was one of the king's best men, and so he worked right for the king. Yep. Well, there were other men there that weren't as powerful as him, and they got jealous. So they went to the king and they said to the king, you know what? We want to honor you, and we want to make a law that For 30 days, no one can pray to anybody else but you. Well, the king, he got all kind of probably proud and huffy and think, whoa, I'm the big guy here. And I like the idea that everybody will just worship me for 30 days. So he put a law out there that everybody could only worship the king. Is that what we're supposed to do? And Daniel, in his mind, he probably didn't give it a second chance. Next day, he's praying where everybody can see him. And what did they do? Well, before they did that, the mean men, they went to the king and they said, we found somebody not following your order. They're praying to another god. Well, I'm sure the king, who would dare do that? And then the bad men said, Daniel. And I think the king got very sad because it said it took him all day long. He was trying to figure out a way to do away with the law, because the law said he had to throw Daniel or anybody who disobeyed the law of worshiping only the king, where? You were right, in the lion's den. Well, the king knew if he threw him in the lion's den, the lions would just tear him up and there wouldn't be any more Daniel. And he liked Daniel. He was one of his best men. He thought about it all day long, and finally evening came and the wicked men said, you know what, the day's up. You have to follow your law. You have to put Daniel in the lion's den. So they get Daniel. See, there's Daniel. And they're letting him down right in the lion's den. But you know what the king said to Daniel? King Darius told Daniel, your God to whom you pray, surely he will save you, for you have followed in his ways. So Daniel was down there, and what do you think Daniel was doing all night long? He was praying to God. And what happened? The lions' mouths were kept shut. And they didn't hurt Daniel. So the next day, the king went. He had worried all night. He was probably awake all night, worrying about Daniel while Daniel was praying. He goes to wherever this pit was, where the lions were, and he says, Daniel, Daniel, speak to me. Are you alive in there? Did the God to whom you pray keep you in his care? And Daniel answered, yes, my king, though I was full of fright. God's angels closed the lion's jaws and kept me safe all night. So he ordered that Daniel be pulled out of the lion's den, and he was safe as could be. And you know what the king did? He ordered all the wicked men and their families to be put in the lion's den. They didn't make it out. So Alice traveled through this story, and then she came back through the giant picture screen. And Alice thought about Daniel and how his faith stayed strong and how he trusted God above when trouble came along. Do you trust in God above when trouble comes along? Daniel followed God's commandment to worship him alone, so even in the lion's den, God's loving care was shown. You know, today we can't sit down by a lion and pet it because it would probably bite us. But I have a picture here. It's actually a puzzle. And I put this together, but what do you see here? A great big lion, and what are the children doing? This is kind of a picture of what might happen in heaven. There might be a big lion there. Actually, I think there will be, and we can pet the lions. Isn't he cute? Now, you can pet the lambs. They won't hurt you here on earth, but the lion would. And the giraffe, you have to stay away from them. And the zebra, they're all locked up on this earth. But in heaven, they'll run wild, and we can walk up, and we can touch them, and we can hug them, and they won't hurt us at all because they will be like God originally created them, to be friends and something we can enjoy in heaven. So let's pray that we all follow Jesus, stay strong, and when he comes, we can be in heaven and live with him and enjoy all the animals, and none of them will be behind bars, will they? Thank you. You can either hold on to those or you can put them in my bag, whatever you want.
Be still, my soul, the Lord is on thy side. Bear patiently the cross of grief or pain. Leave to thy God to order and provide. In every change, he faithful will remain. Be still, my soul, lie bless thy heavenly friend. Through thorny ways leads to a joyful end. Be still, my soul, thy God doth undertake to guide the future as he has the past. Thy hope, thy God, verdance let nothing shake. Oh, now mysterious shall be bright at last. Be still, my soul, the waves and winds still know his voice who ruled them while he dwelt below. Be still, my soul, we are his hastening on, and we shall